Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the Prime Minister is on a working visit to the White City, Tajara. Distribution of the impregnated mosquito nets for the benefit of the inhabitants of Arhiba and District 7. For the international scene, the horizon is clearing for millions of Europeans. Welcome to our newsroom. Fourth step of this tower, the Prime Minister Abdulqadir Kamil Mohammed continues his visit of proximity after the regions of Dakhil and Ali Sabih Obok is the White City, Tajara, which welcomed the Prime Ministers with a large ministerial delegation. This trip is part of a towers he is conducting since Tuesday in the interior region. It's a visit of proximity that is part of the government's action. On his arrival, the Prime Minister and the Secretary General of the Prime Minister's Office, Naguib Abdallah Kamil, were welcomed with great pomp by the people of Tajara as a whole, as well as the Minister of Interior, Saeed Nur Hassan, the Minister of National Education, Mustafa Muhammad Mahamoud, the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Rabil Abdillah, the Minister of Decentralization, Qasim Harun Ali, parliamentarian, and civil society. Amazed by such a warm welcome, the Prime Minister said he was honored by the warm and enthusiasm shown to him by the people. Once arrived at the technical high school of Tajura, where the Prime Minister Abdulqadir Kamil Mohammed, accompanied by the ministers of the Secretary General Naguib Abdallah Kamil, met with the senior executives of the deconcentrated services. This was an opportunity to review the progress of the decentralization process, to inquire about the situations of our compatriots living in the interior regions. A series of exchanges were held where the Prime Ministers and members of the government, the Secretary General of the Prime Minister's Office, met with the deconcentrated services and the population of the White City in the Technical and Commercial High School of Tajura. These discussions and consultation meeting, which the members of the government followed with the attentions that are part of a perspective of strengthening the development of the interior region, strengthening the devolutions of services, and improving the living standards and of their respective populations. Major projects were inaugurated, including the water tank of a firefighters center and the visit to the Women's Empowerment Center of the ANP offices and the social counters. Finally, a nursery created at School 3. The towers started in the interior regions by strong delegations led by the Prime Minister, and several subscribes to a double objective. On the one hand, it is for him to evaluate the devolutions of services and the scope of the actions taken in these regions, and at the same time to record directly the new aspirations of our compatriots in the interior regions for possible refocusing and adoptions of policies consistent with their real and legitimate needs. We will come back in details on the towers of the Prime Ministers Abdulqadir Kamil Mohammed in our editions of tomorrow.
عبدو كامل ثم بلبيني عبدو كامل ثم بلبيني عبدو كامل ثم بلبيني عبدو كامل ثم بلبيني.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Rabil Abdillah, and the International Organization for Migration Head of Mission, Stephanie Devio, presided over a mass distribution ceremony of long-lasting impregnated mosquito nets to the inhabitants of Arhiba and the neighborhood 7. These two neighborhoods, considered to be at high risk of malaria were targeted by this distributionist operation of impregnated mosquito nets, which are a fundamental pillars of the strategy to fight against malaria. Moreover, these operations of massive distributions of mosquito nets will be carried out in the districts of the capital as part of these preventive activities. Moreover, the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Rabil Abdullah, recalled that all health centers and polyclinics are already conducting routine distributionist activity of the nets mosquito, which are offered free of charge to all pregnant women and children under 5 years of age who attend our health facilities. The use of these mosquito nets is a recommendation of the Ministry of Health to ensure that the users has effective protection against the bites of mosquitoes that are the vectors of malaria. In his speech, the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Rabil Abdullah, urged the population to make good use of mosquito nets to protect themselves effectively against malaria. The vast operations of mosquito nets distribution occur periodically in the framework of the fight against malaria. These are preventive activities that the Ministry of Health carries out every year through a door-to-door campaign to give these impregnated mosquito nets to households, so prioritizing pregnant women, nursing mothers, and children under 5 years. The Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Djibouti in France, Ayed Mousad Yahye, presented today to the President of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, Abdelmajid Tebboune, the letter of credence accrediting him as Ambassador of Djibouti to Algeria with residence in France during a ceremony accrediting also two other ambassadors, that of Canada, that of the US of America. Following these presentations of credentials, the ambassador had a private audience with the President of the Republic in the presence of the Minister of Foreign Affairs of a National Community, His Excellency Ramtan Lamamran, as well as the director of the cabinet of the President of the Republic, during which the ambassador was keen to present fraternal greetings of his counterpart and brothers, the President of the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, as well as his wishes of peace and prosperity to the Algerian people. The meeting also focused on bilateral relations as well as the regional and commercial situation in Africa, Arab world, without forgetting the next summit of Algiers scheduled for the fall of 2022. For his part, the ambassador took this opportunity to thank President Tebboune for having raised the Algerian representations in Djibouti to the rank of embassy. The Algerian president asked the ambassador to convey to his brothers, President Guelleh, a message of friendship, as well as to share with him the commitment of Algeria to stand with the ties of cooperation and investment. At the end of this audience, and as is customary in Algeria, the ambassador made a statement to the press. This Wednesday, February 9th, 2022, His Excellency Adan Mohamed Dileita handed to His Majesty Philippe King of the Belgian his letter of credence accrediting him as Ambassador Extraordinary and of the Republic of Djibouti to the Kingdom of Belgium. The official ceremony took place at the Royal Palace in Brussels, after which His Excellency the Ambassador Adan Mohamed Dileita had a private meetings with the sovereign, to whom he conveyed the cordial greetings of the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh. During a private audience, they discussed bilateral relations between the two countries and the regional and international situations. For his part, His Majesty King Philippe asked the ambassador to convey the greetings to the head of state and assured him that he will find in Belgium all the support and assistance necessary to accomplish his mission. The signatures in Jeddah of a memorandum of understanding between the Attorney General of Djibouti and the Attorney General of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the signing of a ceremony of the memorandum of understanding brought together in the city of Jeddah the Attorney General of the Republic of Djibouti, Jama' Suleiman, and the Attorney General of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Saeed bin Abdullah Al Mujab. The signing of this memorandum is part of the strengthening of cooperation relations between the two brotherly and friendly countries, especially in the field of justice. The Republic of Djibouti and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia intends by this means to act together in the fight against terrorism. Clearly, this memorandum of understanding should allow both parties to strengthen their expertise in the fight against crimes related to the financing of terrorism and money laundering, all criminal acts related to the last point, money laundering, and also concerned. Finally, it should be recalled that Djibouti and Saudi Arabia, two brotherly and friendly countries, maintain privileged relations of cooperation in many areas are education, the fight against terrorism, and maritime piracy. The school life inspections and the pedagogical team of the Stade High School commemorate on this Sunday, February 6, 2021, 2022, the International Day of Zero Tolerance to Female Genital Mutilations. Cover all interventions that consist in altering on damaging the female genital for non-medical reasons. It is considered internationally to be a violation of women's and girls' human rights, including their rights to health, safety, and physical integrity, as well as their rights to life when the practice has little consequences. Girls in grade 9 and 8 participate in mass in this day of to say loud and clear, stop female genital mutilation. During the ceremony, the barrier gestures, wearing masks and distancing oneself were respected. The school life inspectorate considers that this day was a success. We would like to thank the pedagogical team and the young fighting girls of the High School of Stade warmly for their presence, and even more for our participation in this grand ceremony played a role in the success of this event. As part of the fight against human trafficking and following the last joint operations of repatriations of more than 605 people arrested in irregular situations and who were then sent back last week, investigators conducted by police detachment of Dakhil have allowed it to put their hand on 6 individuals involved in these networks of traffickers. These individuals took advantage of the vulnerability of the victims to extract money from them by promising them a trip to the Caribbean. These networks of traffickers will be brought to justice and to answer for their acts. In this regard, the chief of police warned the people of Dakhil of the consequences of such an action for our nations and recalled the existence of competent services to manage the flow of immigrants and displaced persons. For the international scene, a freedom permeated the streets of Stockholm on this first day without health restrictions. If the inhabitants of the Swedish capital have hardly noticed the lifting of the latest measures, the atmosphere is nevertheless more relaxed. Well, to be honest, then there haven't been many restrictions lately, but I have noticed that people are still very happy, so you can get of both sides of the coins, says a passerby. Yeah, I think people are really happy. It is good for everyone's mood in general. You know, it is a very dark country this times of year. I think people are just very, very happy that the restrictions are being lifted and we are slowly getting back to normal analysis and others. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.